Before the solicitor's report, I'd just like to inform the public that we did have an executive session before this meeting. Personnel issues, we dealt with a personnel issue involving a custodian. We also discussed very briefly personnel issues, including the retirements, which will be voted on next week's meeting. With respect to sale or purchase of real estate, in my report will be the approval of an agreement of sale of land near the country club for $50,000. We discussed that briefly. We also discussed under legal issues a tax assessment appeal under safety and security. We discussed various issues with bus control cameras and also issues involving Latrobe Elementary School. And under lawful privilege, we discussed a tuition student issue. On my report next week, you will have for your review the approval of an employee personnel matter, which was the one I just referenced. And also we will have for a vote the approval of an agreement of sale between Mr. Campbell and the Greater Latrobe School District for property just in front of the country club. And that's all I have for my report.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols. Education and planning, Mrs. Baines.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to wish everybody a happy holiday. And we'll begin with the student report from Kira and Michael.
Good evening. We'll have to go over tonight in terms of athletics. Spring sports have started, so that includes our track and field seasons and lacrosse, most notably. I'd also like to bring mention to our boys varsity hockey team, who's currently underway to RMU to compete in the semifinals championship. It's a big surprise team that will come back, so wishing them luck tonight. In terms of academics, Selena Chen of the senior high school placed third placed in the top 3 applicants out of 500 for the Challenge Program scholarship. And with our arts department, the musical was this past weekend, Pippin, which played on the 11th and the 12th. In more athletics, 10 wrestlers competed in the Olympial Wrestling Championships on March 4th. And we had 3 medalists. Senior Nate Roth took 7th, sophomore Luke Wilshell took 5th, and Vinny Kilcarry ended up placing 1st in the States. Within the junior high musical, Newsies Junior will be from March 31st to April 2nd, and they currently have their web reader application open to guide the new generation of students. With the elementary schools, from March 10th to 20th will be Scholastic Book Fair. And they're currently from LES, there are 30, 3rd, and 4th graders, along with 11 volunteer coaches who are participating in Girls on the Run. There are 13th, 5th, and 6th graders, along with 7 volunteer coaches participating in the Heart and Soul event, which will last from March 6th to May 21st. Mountain View is also participating in the Girls on the Run event with Bagley as well. Bagley also has their 3rd grade recorded concert on March 15th. Thank you.
Next job. Thank you. The enrollment report, Mr. May.
Yes, thank you. The enrollment report is attached for you to view. Just wanted to give you a quick update on kindergarten numbers. Right now, we are sitting at 151 fully enrolled kindergartners. Last year, this time, we were sitting at 161, so about 10 off. If you know somebody who needs to register, glsq.us, kindergarten registration. Thank you.
Thank you. The next curriculum committee meeting will be held the first meeting in April, Tuesday, April the 11th, 2023, at 5:30 p.m. in the CSC.
Thank you, Mrs. Baines. Finance report. On the agenda for your approval will be the treasurer's report, payment of bills, to approve TCC committee voting delegates, approve gifts, grants, and donations as listed, Finance Committee meeting minutes are posted, are attached from February 14th. Our next Finance Committee meeting will be Tuesday, April 18th at the Senior High School Library at 5:30. Facilities Operation and Planning. Our Facilities Operation and Planning Committee meeting minutes from February 9th are attached. Our next Facilities Operation and Planning Committee meeting will be Thursday, April 6th at the admin building. Student Activities and Recreation, Mr. Music.
No report this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Music. Community Relations, Mrs. Maines.
Thank you. The Greater Latrobe Parks and Recreation Commission meeting minutes from a meeting on January the 19th of 2023 are attached. And the next Greater Latrobe Parks and Recreation Commission meeting will be held this coming Thursday, March 16th, in the Unity Township Municipal Building at 4:30.
Thank you. Can we just go ahead and do that?
Sure. I'm very pleased to introduce to you, if you don't know, Dr. Jason Conway. And he came to give us an update on item 7, and we're so happy that you came. And our representative is with him. You going to do it every quarter too?
No, I won't be here. All right, well, thank you very much, Mrs. Means, and thank you to the board for allowing me to speak for the next 340 minutes. Just on that. But this actually is the last presentation of visiting all 17 school districts. Unfortunately, I didn't get to come here until March. I started back in the fall. It was the first time since the pandemic that we had a chance to get back out into the school districts and their board meetings just to be able to give an update. So I know there's a lot of new faces in the county in terms of the board members. So if you're new to the board since the last time I was here, I'm Jason Conway. I serve as the executive director of the Westmoreland Intermediate Unit that serves the 17 school districts across the county. If there's one takeaway from tonight's presentation, that is intermediate units serve as the intermediary between the Department of Education and its member school districts. We have 29 intermediate units across the Commonwealth. Each of us have a geographic footprint that we're responsible to serve those districts within. We serve as a conduit of information from the Department of Ed down to the school districts and vice versa. When the school districts are struggling and need support, it's our job to let the Department of Education know so we can be further supportive. At your tables today, I just have a very brief handout. Most of it you can take a look at your leisure. On the very first page, it gives kind of an overview of intermediate units. I want to just highlight a few things, such as we've been in existence for 50 years as an act of the General Assembly since 1971. In fact, we house the official 50-year anniversary time capsule at our IU in the lobby. So if you're ever at the IU, make sure that you take a look at that. Across the Commonwealth, we serve thousands and thousands of educators and students by the services that we provide. We also create savings for school districts by being able to provide services that districts may not have the local capacity to do so. And we can do it through economies of scale. Another key thing on page 1 is the fact that we continuously look for ways to expand educational opportunities, not just for educators, but also for students. If you go to the back page, you'll see how, I guess we'll call it page 2. This is a little more how our intermediate unit is organized. We have 3 strategic principles, we have 7 standards of excellence, and we have 5 teams within our intermediate unit. So the first team that I'll highlight is Student Services, which is by far the largest team that we have there, and that provides services from special education, speech language pathology, to OTPT, to a number of, anything that is student related comes out of Student Services, which is led by Dr. Matthew Thomas. We also provide services in the technology and infrastructure world as well. You probably didn't know this, but we actually provide internet services throughout the county to our county government, as well as our county schools that purchase internet from us. We also have entered into a new phase of service, and that is cybersecurity. As you know from talking with your insurance agents and the premiums going up and the number of attacks that are occurring on school districts, we now, much more than ever, have to be diligent when it comes to protecting our cyber resources, and the IU is there to assist our districts in doing that. When it comes to, and that's led by Eric Vaughn. When it comes to financial services, which is led by Tammy Good, We provide services such as purchasing consortiums, such as paper and diesel, again, helping to gather what the demand is across the county and trying to then get the lowest possible price on behalf of those districts. When it comes to curriculum, that team is really in charge of curriculum instruction and assessment. Anything that is PDE related, we're there to support the districts when it comes to those initiatives. And I'm very happy to share that Lauren Cunningham is from our curriculum services team, and she's actually the one who's assigned to coming to Greater Latrobe School Board. So we can learn what your needs are, and she reports back to the entire administrative team. So Lauren, thank you for joining us today. Last but not least, we have executive services, and that's the division or the team that I lead. We have a team of 5, but probably the most important service that we offer is the Westmoreland Public Education Advocacy Committee. And that committee is made up of all superintendents, business managers, as well as 2 board members from each board and the IU cabinet level positions. What we do is we learn about the issues and then we make plans to advocate for those issues impacting public education. I'll talk a little more about that in just a second. So as you can see, we have a wide variety of different things that we do offer in terms of the number of services. If you go to the next page, we'll call it page 3. This is our fast facts and gives you some insight to just the sheer numbers that we serve. You probably didn't know this, but the IU provides services to students with identified needs ages 3 to 5 years old, and we serve about 1,400 students in the county. We serve as the school district for those students, and it's because of that program students get prepared to come into the school districts for kindergarten. And so I believe, and we've held, I think, over 300 different kindergarten transition meetings just this past spring to prepare kids and parents to come into kindergarten with that. But it's also another service that we're going into, and that is our marketing and communications. And we want to help those districts that may struggle when it comes to communications and marketing. So with an internal revision and internal restructuring, we created a marketing and communication specialist position. And that position is there then to assist those at the district as well as to help promote the intermediate unit and its services. A lot of Kayla's work has been around the Public Education Advocacy Committee to help the districts then create one-pagers such as that you're seeing there. If you go to the very, very back, page 4, this is an example of that work where we've created kind of an overview of what the Advocacy Committee does and what the purpose is. And so we offer that service in terms of that fast facts and having that back page. If you're interested in something like that, that's something that we can help out as part of it. So in summary, we serve our districts in any way that they need. Key point that you probably didn't realize, we are not a taxing authority. We do not levy taxes. We rely on creating and offering services to be able to bring revenue in to be able to cover those costs. And so we have to think more like a business than that of a school district. And so we're always very interested to see how well our clients are doing with our services and how can we better ourselves with that. With that, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to the board. I'll close with thank yous. Mrs. Means, thank you for your service to the intermediate unit. You have been on that board for how many years now?
2011.
Yeah. So 12 years. So she is one of the most senior members of that intermediate unit board. So thank you very much. And Mr. Parenka, and to your administrative team.
You old?
Right.
And Mr. Parenka, and to you and your administrative team, I know our administrative team enjoys working with your team, and so we really have enjoyed that relationship that has blossomed since you've taken the helm here. So
You mean they even enjoy working with John?
I think so, yeah. They do. And thank you to the board as a whole. Every year you continue to support the general operating budget that we are going to have in front of you at probably next month, I think, Dan. So we always we don't take that lightly. We do know that you have to support that, and we very much appreciate that you do. All right, with that, I'll take any questions. If not, I'm going to sit for a little bit. I've been out the last 2 days, so I'm hurting a little bit, so I might be heading out soon.
You have 230 minutes left.
Oh, I do, yes. I'm going to yield my time back to the president. There you go. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming.
You're welcome.
On your agenda for next week, we will be approving participation in the WIU joint purchasing for the 23-24 school year to purchase for the multi-purpose paper bid. That's on the agenda for next week. The summary of the WIU board meeting minutes from February 27, 2023 are attached. As Jason said, we were presented the item of budget at the last meeting, and it should be on the agenda next month for approval for you, from you. The next WIU committee meeting will be held on Tuesday, March the 28th of 2023 at 7 p.m. in the WIU Greg Rogers room.
Thank you, Mrs. Nix.
Thank you.
Transportation, Mr. Music.
Thank you. Only one item, the March 8th, 2023 transportation meeting minutes are attached to the board agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Music. BWCTC. This is Mrs. Walker.
So we had the joint operating committee summary meeting minutes for your perusal, where we did also as well review the CTC budget coming up. And I would like to point out, since the IU representatives are here, we did enter into an agreement with the IU for technology, so that was discussed at that point. To this point. And then our next meeting is Wednesday, March 22nd, as we did with CTC at 7.
Thank you, Dr. Board policy on the agenda for your approval will be the final adoption of the policies listed in this attachment. Technology, there is no report this evening. Superintendent's recommendations, Mr. Kremka.
Next week, I'll ask the board to move on resignations as listed, and I'll speak more about this next week, but included in those resignations are 15 staff members who are resigning for the purposes of retirement. 15. Probably have 2 more to be added to that. And we have a staff of 261 teachers, and you have to replace 17 of them. That's 451 years of experience that's going to leave at the end of the school year. Again, I'll speak more to that next week, but those are the resignations as listed. Also ask the board to approve professional personnel, substitute teachers as listed, and spring sports coaches salary adjustment, just an adjustment to our baseball assistant, Brett Valerani, of $25. In other business, the end of the 3rd quarter is Wednesday. I can't believe that we are 3/4 of the way through the school year. We have a 2-hour late start on Thursday, March the 23rd, early dismissal on April the 6th, followed by spring break, April 7th to the 11th. Before I conclude my report tonight, Mr. President, I want to say how much I thoroughly enjoyed the musical Pippin this weekend. I thought the kids did a fabulous job. I thought it was well done. As you know, that musical was postponed one weekend due to the power outages that we had here at the junior senior high school. In that vein, I also want to commend our custodial and maintenance staff. If you're not aware, 2 weekends ago, the windstorm that came through, literally right as the curtain was about to go up on the musical, put a big pine tree down across the power line down by the junior high school. When that tree came down, it snapped another pole into 3 at the junior high school, and then impacted like a total of 5 poles. There was a point on Saturday, this is where your eyes will light up, there was a point on Saturday where I wasn't sure that grades 7 through 12 were going to be able to come to school on Monday. Sorry. You would have had an online instructional day, so don't feel like you missed out on too much. But I'll tell you, I know West Penn had a lot to deal with, but our maintenance crew keeping things going, our custodial staff cleaning up a mess in the parking lot down there, Jillian coming in to see what she had in terms of breakfast and lunches to deliver to our kids. It was truly a team effort, and for that I'm appreciative. I'm also really looking forward to the 3rd grade recorder concert tomorrow at Bagley Elementary. And someday when you're a parent and you have a 3rd grader that brings that recorder home, you'll understand why I'm looking forward to that concert tomorrow. Okay? Because then I think the recorder needs to stay at school. Thank you for mentioning that. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Before we adjourn, I would like to make a point to emphasize what Mr. Perinka had brought up about our maintenance staff. This is not the first time that these guys stepped up and did what we needed done. I remember all the leaks we had in the wintertime, and they came in Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. These guys are amazing, and I just wanted to point out that we are very appreciative, and I commend them for their loyalty and dedication for this job. Thank you very much. Since it's seeing and no one, no objections, I would like to adjourn the meeting. I would like to thank everybody for coming this evening, and have a good night.